Very good evening to all. I'm Sindhukavi MR, currently posted as Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax in Indian Revenue Service, and I cleared the examination in 2019. I belong to the 2019 batch. I secured rank 504, and so today I'll be discussing about my preparation, how I prepared, what are the things that I had followed, and what are the things that I can suggest for the aspirants. What kind of books they can read, what kind of notes they can make, and for different stages like prelims, come mains. So I'll try to kind of divide and say what are the things that can be done by different people. Good evening. So first, मैं शुरू करने के पहले तो I want to ask if anybody watching the live has got any question. So किसके लिए कुछ सवाल पूछना है तो पूछिए, मैं पहले वो आंसर करूँगी और उसके बाद I'll go with the things that I have decided to talk about. So you can type in the comment box, I think. So has anyone got any questions to be asked regarding the preparation? I will clarify the questions first and then I can proceed with the course of things that I've decided to discuss today. So somebody has asked me about prelims 2023. So what specific thing do you want me to discuss? So ये prelims के लिए क्या specific discuss करना पड़ेगा? तो you can type and I'll be able to say. See, prelims every year, I think, unless and until the pattern is changed by UPSC, the preparation is going to be the same. Only the thing is that based on the past year question paper, you will be kind of strategizing as to what kind of things you can focus on. For example, I think the last prelims, the following questions were pattern different. Like earlier you can use the elimination options. पहले elimination options use कर सकता है और हम you can eliminate the option and you can arrive at an answer. But अभी तो उसका scope कम हो गया ना, तो every thing you can every prelims का preparation strategy same है, but फिर भी तो how do we solve the questions, that strategy has to differ. So any other question? तो specific सवाल पूछिए, please ask me, I'll be able to say better. कुछ specific सवाल है, ये कैसा पढ़ना है, तो any specific things? Okay, so if you ask me for book, for different subjects, you have to refer different things that you might be knowing. Polity के लिए मैंने शुरू से end तक I followed Lakshmikant. So that was my standard book that I followed. Polity के लिए मैं सिर्फ Lakshmikant follow किया, और economy के लिए I went for coaching and I had my own notes so that time, so I used to follow only that for economy. See, one thing I would suggest is that how many ever you can, it's not that you should refer multiple sources. इतना ज़्यादा sources नहीं refer करना चाहिए, तो क्योंकि whatever sources we are referring तो limited होना पड़ेगा, फिर भी उसमें again and again we have to revise, and that's how it keeps going. So polity के लिए Lakshmikant from the end I had studied, and then for economy, as I said, I went for coaching and I had my own notes. So I think I cleared UPSC in my 5th attempt, and since then till that time I was using my economy notes for that. And after that, history, again my notes is the one which I referred to, but again some people refer spectrum, some people refer NCERT. वो अपनी मर्जी है, तो आपका मर्जी है, क्योंकि because NCERT some people study, but to my knowledge for history I'm saying I've never studied NCERT. I've tried studying, but then it was very exhaustive for me. So I had proper notes from my classes and I used to follow that for my history thing. And geography, I would suggest NCERT. I would just suggest NCERT for the entire thing. And apart from NCERT, what you can refer is Gochin Leong. So that is one thing that I would suggest. And environment, again, I had studied I had studied in Shankar IAS, so that time I was using their book. And science technology के लिए I didn't study any conventional thing, so that time whatever current affairs was there, so I studied based on it. So I think I've covered history में आपका when it comes to me, it was my notes, and economy में भी मेरा notes है, और polity Lakshmikant and environment Shankar is what that I followed that time, and साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए मैं कुछ नहीं फॉलो किया, करंट अफेयर्स का नोट्स है. या एंड मैम जोग्राफी न्यू, one second, I'll just go through the comments, and once I'll finish the YouTube questions, I'll go on with my preparation strategy and all that. That's how I've been told by the page to be covered, how to cover current affairs. I would suggest you to read newspaper every day. So हर रोज अखबार और newspaper read करना पड़ेगा, तो वो अच्छा है, क्योंकि when you read you get updated, right? So it's not that you can, for example, I used to read consolidated magazines because that time I was working, so I didn't have the time to read newspapers every day. But if at all you are a full time if you are dedicatedly preparing for UPSC without any job and all that, I would definitely suggest you all to read the newspapers. That is very important. And newspapers say me, you can make your own notes. It's not that notes मतलब हर दिन का 25 pages 30 pages ऐसा नहीं है, क्योंकि you will not be able to kind of revise it. But small hint making, and then I used to kind of refer any YouTube video for editorial discussion and all that. So newspapers say make your own notes out of it, and like maybe at an interval of 1 week or something you can start revising it, and that will definitely help you. But apart from that, for current affairs I used to study consolidated magazines, like that time I referred Vision, then I referred Insights. There are a lot of things like that. So it depends, like purely depends on the individual, on the aspirant, whatever is comfortable for them, whatever they feel would, sometimes we feel that a magazine of this particular institute is very voluminous, you'll not be able to revise. Sometimes you feel that it's very good. So it all depends on the aspirants. Whichever thing you feel comfortable, you can definitely follow that. And so just a minute, I'll just see the questions. Yeah, good evening ma'am, how many mocks are required? See, mocks, I think giving too much of mocks is also not good, and giving very less mock is also not good. Mocks are what? See, it is not that the question that you get in mock only will be appearing in the examination. But why do you attend mocks? I would say that the purpose of attending mock is to make sure that you practice this this art of eliminating, and you kind of arrive at how to face the actual examination. How do you get away with all your tension? So basically mock is for that. It's a practice to make sure that you kind of get practice to the elimination techniques, and you handle the tension, like how will you be able to handle it when you are present in the exam. Mock is basically for that. And sometimes if you are lucky, the things or the questions that you've got in mock may appear in a different way in the actual UPSC examination. So I would suggest taking 5 or 6 mocks. That is my suggestion. But again, it depends on the individual. I wouldn't suggest taking too much of mock, because what happens at the end of the day is that you get stressed. When your mock results don't come out well, you get stressed. So mock 5, 6 ठीक है. But then the one mistake that I used to do was, like, I used to keep attending tests, but then I never used to come home and revise the answers. वो है मेरा गलत है actually. So you should get away with that. You should start revising the answers. Whatever mock you give, come home, get the key and revise the answers. That is the only thing when it comes to mock. And yeah, let me see. I have strategy after some time. I'm not able to follow and doubt on my strategy. Please guide me, ma'am. Yeah. See, what is the doubt that you have with your strategy? Sometimes what happens is that you chart a timetable for yourself, right? Sometimes you may not be able to cover it, as I know. So that might be the case. But then I would say that strategy is an individualistic thing. What works for me may not work for you. What works for A may not work for B. So it is a very individualistic thing. And it is my personal opinion that हर टॉपर का strategy अलग है. So and until I clear the examination, nobody will know that this is my strategy. Even I will not know that this is a strategy. So only if I clear the examination, I get to know, okay, I've studied this way and it's good and it's working out for me. So I would say when you fix your timetable, put achievable targets, put possible targets. For example, if you're studying history today, you can't complete ancient India in a single day. right? You have to, for example, you can select something Vedic. Today I will complete Vedic period. Today I'll complete IVC, Indus Valley civilization. So achievable targets, keep achievable targets so that you don't get demotivated. So I would say strategy mein, I would say put timetable for 7 days, I mean for a week or 10 days. Don't put timetable for 2 months, you may not be able to follow. So I would suggest you to chart out a timetable for a short term, and then break your big goals into small pieces, and that's how I think you can strategize. And allocate time for the things that you are currently weak at. If you're weak in CSAT, you should give time for that. And if you're good in something, you should not be overconfident also. Or let me see the comments. How to cover essay paper? It's going to be difficult year by year. Yeah, with the changing pattern of the essay questions, now it's becoming more philosophical, and you cannot predict what they are going to ask. So the only thing is to keep practicing. For me, if you ask me, I was confident when it comes to mains, so I had a good writing skill, so I managed with that. So for different people, it's different. So I would say for essay, you have not just for essay, be it for ethics or be it for essay or be it for GS4, I would say be ready with a lot of quotes. Choose some 15 topics, say sustainable development, say kind of women empowerment. They are basic things. If you put it under a roof, it will be just 15-20 topics. So for this 15-20 topics, keep the examples ready, and keep the quotes ready. Okay, for example, if you ask about education, just randomly I'm saying, you should have some ready-made quotes, 4 or 5 quotes, saying that education is the most powerful weapon which can be used to change the entire world. This is a quote by Nelson Mandela. So like this, you can keep ready-made quotes so that you can fit in wherever you want, and try to make your essays more, what to say, attractive. Don't start with the usual thing, saying start with a paragraph or something. Try to start with a small story or something. For example, in the year in which I got into service, it was about one topic was about border management or something. I don't remember the exact topic. So I started with a small story, saying that 2 teams were playing kabaddi, and one team won, and the referee referred the winning team. And how did the referee declare the winning team? Because the border between both the teams was clear. So, and then I took it to the Indian scenario, where I said the border with many of our neighbors are not very clear, as is the case with the kabaddi match. So when the borders are not clear, there people start to fight. So you can make something innovative like that. Instead of making your essay very very normal, you can try to I would say the introduction is the part where you try to draw the attention of the examiner. So try to use different things like this. I think it comes with practice. If you're weak in writing, I think you should keep practicing. Take some random topics, keep some quotes ready, and all that. So this is the basic thing I would say. And next one. I'm stuck in mains. I've given 2 mains but able to not clear it. So it means that, see, the thing is, for some people prelims is a problem. For some people mains is a problem. For me, I always felt that prelims is a problem. Mains is relatively, I'm good at it. So what you should do in that case is that I would suggest, don't make some random notes. Take the syllabus. For every word in the syllabus, syllabus में हर word को तो आपका own notes बना दीजिए, क्योंकि at the end of the day UPSC is going to ask from the syllabus only. So you have to take every word from the syllabus and you start making notes for it. Don't make some random notes. So syllabus ko, you pick up the word from the syllabus and you then try to fit in the notes that you kind of made. Because when you make notes, it will be random. You don't know where to fit in what. So choose the syllabus, go word by word, then make notes for it, and then you start fitting in. I think now with most of the aspirants have started using iPad. When I was not, when I was giving an attempt, I was using notes only. Normal manual notebook. But now that with the iPad and all, you can segregate and you can put for every word in the syllabus, you can make your own notes and you can make your grouping. So that's how you have to make notes. And every day when you start reading newspaper, keep adding your current affairs to the specific topic in the UPSC syllabus. And so how to improve English writing? I think it comes with practice only. You just have to keep writing, or it comes with practice. There's no instant strategy that I can say. I was also very I would say when I was in 5th standard or something, I didn't know to speak in proper English. So but then I picked on, because it's only by speaking or letting out your figure, fear, you try to improve your English. So I would say keep writing, keep getting it corrected from somebody, a senior or somebody, or a fellow aspirant or somebody who's good in English. So that's the thing. And if you're talking about interview on how to improve your English skill, I mean communication skill of speaking in English, I would say go in front of the mirror, talk in front of the mirror, then just get away with the fear. Talking in front of the mirror is the most difficult thing, but when you start talking in front of the mirror, you will try to analyze what are the mistakes that you've made. If you want to talk about video, just interview, take a video and see how fluently you're speaking in English. So talking in front of the mirror, recording and hearing your own voice to see how is your pronunciation going, how's your grammar going, is very important. And then prelims strategy smart बताइए. Prelims का strategy, you can ask any specific thing. I would say strategy, matlab you have to solve a lot of questions. Okay, for I would say every day take a question paper. Don't go to the 100. Take a question paper and solve 100 questions. You will not be able to. Nothing will go into your mind. Take some 15 questions. Take some 25 questions. Solve them. See the answers. See how you are able to eliminate the option. Now there are a lot of websites, right? A lot of UPSC websites which give you a lot of everyday quizzes are there. So you can try that. So one thing is how much ever you study for prelims, the most important thing is how you are able to eliminate the answers. How are you able to kind of deduce it? So practice is very important. And keep revising. Whatever you study, in a particular week, you have to keep revising. It's not about accumulating too many things at a time. It's about whatever you have to study properly. You have to keep revising. That was a mistake I did in my earlier thing. Yeah. Basic subjects for prelims to qualify. Basic subjects matlab polity, history, geography. You have to study everything. You can't say in UPSC that this question comes from this subject, right? General studies is very general. It can be from any subject. So history, geography, polity, science, environment, everything. Yeah, economics. Prelim strategy smart. What do you mean by prelim strategy smart? Ask specific thing. Yes, you have to keep your resources very limited. Don't, if you want to read a magazine for for the coming prelims, just restrict it to one source, maximum 2 sources. If you're finding it difficult, maximum 2. Like you're reading from Institute A, restrict yourself to that. If you're reading from Institute B, restrict yourself to that. Don't keep reading 5 or 6 magazines. There'll be so much of information accumulation. Yes, exactly. Limited resource, maximum revisions. That is the key, as you've said, and keep solving a lot of questions. Out. Okay, so I think I've done with the questions. Now I will say my own thing. Whatever I have prepared for today, I will say in an organized manner. So that is very important. So I cleared UPSC in my 5th attempt, and in the initial attempts, the mistake that I committed was that I did not revise. I was studying. I didn't chart out a plan actually. So that was my mistake. So in the first and second thing, it was like that. And third attempt, I cleared prelims. At that time, I worked a lot. And fourth attempt, I could again clear prelims. And fifth attempt, I got service. That's the year in which I cleared prelims. So when it comes to prelims, one thing I would suggest is that, as somebody asked me, keep your resources very limited and revise n number of times, and then keep solving a lot of questions. Even the question that you solve, whether you take mock, you just come home, take the question paper, see the answer sheets, and keep revising. So 3 things I would suggest with respect to prelims is that first one is keep revising, second is keep your resources very limited, and 3, solving a lot of questions. So this is the thing when it comes to prelims. And when it comes to mains, how to make short crisp notes, ma'am. That comes with practice only. Initially when you start studying newspaper, you will take a lot of notes. but then you have to restrict what you want to take. You should know. For example, if you are taking notes on anti-defection from your newspaper, you will try to write the party names also. You will try to write who was defected from where to where. That all is not needed. Whatever is needed for the examination, what is the provision, which is the chapter which deals with anti-defection, which when was it, when was it brought in, and what are the amendments, whether split has taken place or merger has taken place, and how has the amendments evolved. So that is what you should concentrate. Don't concentrate too much on the factual things which are not needed, like who was split from which party to which party. No, it's not needed. And when it comes to mains, I would say that essay, as I already discussed, keep a lot of quotes with you, keep a lot of examples with you, real life examples. You can find anywhere. Lots of websites are there. Like for example, if you're talking about integrity, there are a lot of examples, right? You see something across social media where you see that somebody has left their purse in cab, and the cab driver came back and he gave the purse back to them. So it's all about integrity, right? So small examples from real life which you see in social media or which you see in newspapers or any online forum, you can note down that, and then you can give it as an example in essay. It works for ethics also, it works for essay also. So GS1, coming to GS1, I would say that GS1 society part, my option was sociology, so I didn't study exclusively for the society part. So I took my sociology knowledge and I used it here. And world history, yes, obviously you have to study. तो वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री के लिए तो एक बुक रखिए, तो which was comfortable for you. And for me, I did not study any book. For example, for the Russian Revolution, I made my notes out of so many sources that was available in the internet. Matlab, for example, if I refer to pages in the internet for Russian Revolution, then I'll see some YouTube video, some random thing. If you put Russian Revolution UPSC, there'll be a lot of videos, right? So I'll take my own notes from that. So I had my own notes for Russian Revolution, world history, and similarly for all that. And modern India, whatever you study in prelims, the same thing only. So that's why I say that prelims is not just prelims. It's an integrated preparation. Preparation for prelims and mains is the same. The thing is, in prelims you face objective questions, and mains you face descriptive questions, right? And And what are the other things in paper 1? Can somebody mention? GS1, any specific thing? World history, constitution, comparing the constitutions. That also, I think what the most important thing when it comes to comparing constitution is that what is currently in use. For example, it's not like they'll always say compare US constitution and the Indian constitution. It's never that. It's about what comes in the at that point of time in the current affairs, right? So be updated. For example, I think the Sri Lankan constitution was currently in use because of some amendment, 13th amendment or something. I'm not sure of the numbers. I'm just quoting an example. And the Nepal constitution was also in use. So it will be like how you can compare the Indian constitution to the constitutions that are currently in use. So make a note out of it. For example, if it's a presidential form of government, how does it differ from the Indian system? For example, in India, the presidential form of though it's a parliamentary form of government, the president isn't. Since it's a parliamentary form of government, the president is considered to be a nominal head, right? And the real power actually vests with the prime minister is what we read. So how does it, happen in the other countries? So which are currently in use? That's what you need. And paper 2. When it comes to paper 2, again, I would say polity. Whatever you've studied in prelims, that only you have to use it for mains. There's nothing called as studying polity for prelims exclusively and mains exclusively. But certain things are there. I would like to say, for example, in the year in which I gave the attempt, it was like they asked a question about the working of the 73rd and 74th amendment, which is nothing but the panchayat. Local self-governance working. So I had an example of a sarpanch, lady sarpanch. I had that example. She was from Tirunelveli district in Tamil Nadu. So that sarpanch was made a rubber stamp sarpanch, meaning that her husband had the real power. So, and I read some article about it. So I used that in polity also. And there was one more example where I read that Sarpanch was from a lower caste, so-called lower caste, and the people of the village refused to accept her as the Sarpanch. So these are all things which I used in polity, which I used in essay, and which I also used in ethics. So since 3 papers will be corrected by 3 different people, that person will not know that you have repeated all these things in the different papers. So have limited examples, but you can still give it in different papers. So that is what I would suggest. And Yeah, polity is one thing, and paper two और क्या है, paper two में और क्या, international affairs, that is again the current affairs only. It's not something exclusive that you're going to prepare. Whatever you see in news, how is the bilateral relationship going on and other things. So that is what you will, whatever is news is important. So, and one more thing, just a minute. And yeah, paper 2 is that. And paper 3 economics is again what is your prelims preparation. But again then economy, like whatever was there in the current affairs, I try to have complete knowledge about. For example, few years back, I think 2 or 3 years, 1 or 2 years, there was a talk about the power of the government and the overriding power of the RBI in giving directions for demonetization and all that, right? So that was an issue. So in that case, you will have to understand whatever is currently in news. So paper 3 is that. And paper 3 में और क्या है, yeah, internal security and agriculture, all that I had made my own notes. For example, when it comes to internal security, तो syllabus से हर word को मैंने मेरी own notes बनाया. So from that I kind of, for example, cyber security, you would see something in the news, like ransomware was there at that point of time, so you will note down everything that comes in current affairs and try to relate it with the things in the syllabus. So current affairs was again very helpful, and conventional notes I took from the internet. Like I would just type some random words out of the syllabus, say cyber security UPSC, and there would be many materials. So from that I will make my own notes. Okay. So, and paper 4 is again ethics. So for paper 4, what I did was every word in the syllabus, again I would suggest that only. So for example, if it's honesty or if it's integrity, for every word, first thing I would do is I will make a simple definition out of it. That was the first step. And second step is that I would try to get some examples, like historic examples, like say from epics or something, from Ramayana or Mahabharata, which character exhibited that particular quality, and any books like Tirukural or something in which that character is being specified. And then I would go for real life examples where some popular leaders had that quality. For example, sacrifice, you can refer Mahatma Gandhiji's name. So that is very important. And so I'll complete this paper 4 or prelims ke baare mein I'll tell. Yeah, please ask me about prelims thing. Socio GS में ma'am, did you make short revision notes, like only key based notes? Good example ma'am, we can quote from Panchayat web series, few words on the source. Exactly, Panchayat, like what the web series from Panchayat, it has a lot of practical things. Everything that you see in that series you can relate to. So when you talk about Panchayat, you gave me a very good example, thank you for that. If you talk about Panchayat series, there you see the rubber stamp Panchayat, where Panchayat leader, where the women is actually one who holds the post, but then her husband will be managing it. And then you see that for the actual Pradhan, there will be no power. Like how kind of in a remote village it is, and people don't even know about computer, all those things. So you can take examples. Yes. प्रीलिम्स के बारे में कुछ स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चंस पूछिए तो मैं जवाब दूंगी, बिकॉज prelims, like I have said about solving questions and all that. What exactly do you want about prelims? You can tell me. Please ask me specific questions, I'll be able to say. How to read PT 365? See, again, if you're finding it PT 365 very difficult, you should first of all refer to a source which you can actually read, because PT 365, for some people the English might be very difficult, and it will be like so much of information will be accumulated in a single page. So you first decide whether you want to read PT 365 or go for some other material. That is one thing that you should make. And then if you're talking about PT 365, what I will do is, during my preparation I'll make a 1 week plan. Okay, so in that I will decide, okay, so today I'll read this polity part of PT 365. So that is very important. You have to segregate the prelims PT 365 material into different parts. You have to decide on which day you will read which part. For example, if you're very weak in geography, not geography, leave aside geography, take some other subject, say art and culture, and if you keep PT 365 has some 40 pages for art and culture, you cannot read the entire art and culture for 40 pages in a single day if you're weak at it. Okay, so I would say segregate into different days. you just allocate some 2 hours for current affairs today. So you decide, okay, aaj 2 hours current affairs mein I will read this. So segregate the prelims PT 365 material into different days. For example, if you're taking environment thing PT 365 and it has some 60 pages, you definitely can't read it in a single day. So put a timetable for it. Say today I'll read 7 pages, then tomorrow 7. That's how you should divide and read. Or ma'am, is it become necessary to go towards PT 365? See, that is what I'm again saying. PT 365 means, are you referring to a material of a single institute? Are you asking about any single institute's material? Please tell me that. That's a very good question about the number of iterations which are required for completing the prelims paper, right? So earlier, this is very important. Thanks for asking the questions. I'd like to discuss about it. One thing is that earlier and all, what I used to do, I used to spend too much time on first part of the question paper. Then what happens after 60 questions, you feel that only some 40 minutes is left. Then you go through the entire paper. Then you, because of the time constraints and the tension, you start marking something and you'll get a lot of negative marks, right? So I would say, again, divide the paper, whatever be it, whichever order you get it. Maybe if you get some random code, the first half may be easy, the second half may be easy. Never mind about it. It's very easy to easy to say, but again it's difficult only, I understand. So you have to divide the question because you have to set the time. For example, you decide it's 2 hour paper, right? So 2 hour means first 25 questions I will assign this much time. You have to decide, and don't just always go in the same order. If you find the starting part very difficult, go from the back, then go from the middle part. First, I would say just randomly glaze through the questions. Just have a look at all the questions, because in many prelims I have lost on questions which I actually knew the answer, but then I lost it because I was not able to get enough time and I didn't pay enough concentration for it. So I would say first go through the question paper at a glance. Then you decide which part you want to attend. Just very fastly, for 3-4 minutes, you go through the question paper. Then you decide on which part you want to start. Then while attempting, if you find the starting part very difficult, then go to the end part. Then switch on, keep switching on if you're finding it difficult. And I would say I won't have that much time, but then at least 2 iterations are needed. But it's very difficult to make that. And next question. Yeah, ma'am, I'm using monthly magazine, but I confused about P3 365. The thing is, most of us do that. We start studying monthly magazine, but at the end of February, what happens is many institutes start putting consolidated material, right? Then you get confused about it. So I would suggest, for whichever month, whichever subject you've not studied well, that subject you go and go for consolidated. For example, science and technology is there. Okay, if you keep reading monthly thing, I am not very fond of science and technology. So if I keep reading every month science and technology for 12 months, then I'll be overloaded. So I think it's better to go for the consolidated material. So for subjects in which you're weak in, better go for the consolidated materials. For the other things, if you find time, go for the monthly magazine. You can keep revising. Revision tips, test series cases solve करेगी है. For example, if you're attending, I would not suggest you to attend 3-4 tests in a single day. Take a single question paper. For me, at least one question paper will take the entire day. Matlab, for solving, for going back to the key and understanding it. So take a single question paper. If you're going for 100 questions, solve them. Then go to the next paper. Don't keep something in the middle. Stop there and go. Take a full paper. कितना समय होता है तो उतना समय don't mind, finish the paper and then go to the next one. I take English language, but there's spelling mistakes and sentence structure wrong. How to remove this problem? That I think you'll have to keep practicing. You can practice. This might sound very silly, but then it might help you. Keep practicing dictation is what I would say. This might sound very silly, but then it works. So it might work. If you are, have a basic knowledge, then ask somebody, or a friend or somebody, to dictate some 15-20 words a day and try to, something related to UPSC. Let them not take some words in medicinal field and tell you to dictate, but take something from the UPSC magazine only. Okay. So then ask them to dictate some 15-20 words. You will be able to make it. It's not a big thing. एंड और किस सब्जेक्ट पर ज़्यादा फोकस करेंगे, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. तो हर एवरी ईयर थिंग्स कीप चेंजिंग. इट्स नॉट लाइक यूपीएससी विल आस्क ओनली फ्रॉम हिस्ट्री दिस ईयर, नेक्स्ट ईयर इट विल आस्क फ्रॉम, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. हर सब्जेक्ट को इक्वल वेटेज देना पड़ेगा. दैट इज़ माई सजेशन. और ma'am, how was your CSAT? Yeah, CSAT was pretty decent. Like for CSAT was never a major issue for me. That again I would say, if you're weak in CSAT, keep practicing it. Take mock. For CSAT you can solve any number of question papers. I wouldn't say take only 5 papers, 6 papers. For CSAT, I would say like practice like how you will do it in UPSC. Set timer for 2 hours. Take a paper, try to solve within 2 hours, and see how many questions you're able to solve. If you're going wrong somewhere, try to work on that. For some people English might be difficult, for some people maths might be difficult. So I would say that if you're, for example, if you're weak in this, like generally UPSC has a pattern, not every year, but generally they will ask from percentage, they'll ask from average. So there are a lot of materials, like there are a lot of materials on the internet, so you can take questions, or you can take any question paper of any institute and you can solve that. Set timer and solve it. How to cover Vision Current Affair magazine, that is what I told now. So you have to divide it. You cannot read the entire magazine for a subject in a single day. So har roz segregate it and make sure that you read some by some. Ma'am, is there anxiety? Ma'am, there is some anxiety day by day. That is very natural. Don't feel very panicked about it. Anxiety is very natural. Without anxiety, I don't think any aspirant would be there. Very rarely such people would be there. So it is a normal thing. Feel normal. If you are feeling anxiety, feel anxious, it's fine. I would say one important thing that I want to cover today, or say to all the aspirants, is don't start stressing yourself that you keep sitting with your books 24/7. Try to indulge in activities which you really like, and that really becomes a stress buster. In my case, it really helped me. Like I used to dance, and I like doing dancing. I'm a Kathak dancer, so I used to go to dance classes. Even during my preparation, I did all my dance classes. I never took a break from my classes, or a huge break or something. So keep indulging in things which you love. That really acts as a place where you can vent out your frustration. So if you're good in swimming, go do that. You will definitely vent out your frustration. If you're good in singing, try singing. You will definitely vent out your frustration. Personally, I would say that you should never let down your extracurricular activities during the process of your preparation. Individually, for me, it definitely acted as a way a channel through which I vented out my frustration. So I would say, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling frustrated, relax in something. Go for a jog, indulge in some activity where you feel that you will feel good. So one main point I want to say that to the team also, but one main point I would say is, aspirants should never let their extracurricular activities go away during the process of preparation. It helps a lot. Even during my interview preparation, when they asked me about my dancing and my speech, other extracurricular activities and all, my entire UPSC interview started with and I had good score, pretty much good score, 202 in interview. So my interview preparation started with that. Okay, so my interview question started with that. So I would say that you should have some extracurricular activities. So tomorrow when you go to the interview, you should have something to put, right? So I would say, don't keep yourself stressed. Do some extracurricular activity, at least 45 minutes or half an hour a day. Mock test kaise kare for prelims 2023? That's your choice. You can, if you want to enroll in any particular institutes mock, you can enroll and follow them religiously. Or if you are not able to do that, there are a lot of online options, right? So you see a lot of question papers online. Take some question papers from any particular institute and then keep solving it. Just a minute. मैम प्लीज टेल अस द बबल फिलिंग टेक्निक मीन्स बबल पहला भरना है कि आखिरी में भरना है. फिल्म्स पेपर 1 पेपर है. Bubble filling, what do you mean by bubble filling technique? Are you asking me if you can fill all the bubble in the end, the shading part in the end? ऐसा पूछ रहा है क्या? ऐसा कुछ नहीं. I mean, I would not suggest you to fill the bubbles at the end because we tend to make a lot of mistakes. So if you're not very sure about filling the bubble, keep some time. Then when you come for the second iteration, you can fill it. But otherwise, if you're sure of some question, just keep filling it then and there. I would not suggest you to wait for the entire, for you to read the entire question paper and then come back to the bubble. Maximum you can do in your second iteration. Please don't hold it on. और क्या? प्लीज़ आस्क. प्लीज़ कैन यू स्पीक इन हिंदी मैम. मैं कोशिश करूँगी. तो आपको कुछ स्पेसिफिक सवाल है, मुझे पूछिए. आई एम वेरी उतना फ्लुएंट नहीं है इसीलिए. What is must in last 10 days before prelims? You have to keep revising. That is very important. Keep solving a lot of questions. That is important. Keep revising and have a balance. Sleep well. I think in my third attempt or something, I didn't sleep well. So when I went to my CSAT paper, I fainted. I kind of fainted near 20-15 minutes. I was about to faint. So that is one thing I would suggest. Have proper sleep. And it's very important that you have to maintain a sleep cycle at least 10 days before examination. For example, I had this habit of sleep. I mean, I used to study in the night, so I had this habit of sleeping at 2 o'clock and all the night and waking up at random times like 9 o'clock in the morning. But then at least 10 days before UPSC, you should have that you should start sleeping at 10 and start waking up at 5, so that at 10 o'clock when you go to the exam hall, you don't feel that you don't feel sleepy. So that is important. Follow a cycle. So 10 days before the UPSC, it's very important that you have a cycle. You have a proper cycle of sleep, and you should start. You should revise a lot. और मैम आपका इंटरव्यू बोर्ड कौन सा आया था और आपने इंटरव्यू के लिए कैसे प्रिपेयर किया? Yeah, this is very important. And as I said, I had a good score in interview. My UPSC member was Smita Nagaraj ma'am, and I had 202 in the interview. So one thing I would, I'll come to your question, Sanat Kumar. So yeah, one thing I would say is that when it comes to your interview, it can be like anything. You cannot predict your interview, but you can prepare for your interview. That's all you can do. So for me, in your interview, what can they ask? Either they will ask from your DAF, which is the detailed application form, or they will ask from the current affairs, right? So prepare well on your DAF. तो आपकी DAF में क्या word है, तो हर word को आप you should know the meaning. Extracurricular activities से thoroughly prepare your DAF and be updated with your current affairs. So that is all I would say. And yeah, Sanat Kumar had asked something. I forgot what he asked. Yeah, I don't have any job yet. Graduated in 2000 with the second class. Ma'am, I want to prepare for 2000. I am at 28. I haven't done any job yet. Graduated in 2008 with second class BE from BIT Misra. So what is your exact doubt, Sanat Kumar? What is your doubt? Are you asking me whether you can go for a job and simultaneously prepare? So job के साथ पढ़ सकते हैं या नहीं? Is that your question? You can study. There's nothing like you cannot study without job and all. With your job and all, you can study. It's your decision. And one thing I really feel that when it comes to you reach this age of 28 or 29, girls definitely have this marriage pressure and boys have this pressure of not making money for thing at home. I do understand it, and only thing is that you should not listen to all that. Just make sure that you get away from all the negativity. You know what you want in life. You know what you want to proceed with. So that's the only thing. You have to shun away from all the negative things and keep focusing on what you want. Yes. Ma'am, did you create your Telegram channel? No, I don't have any Telegram channel. I have my Instagram account, social media. You can search me by my name. In Instagram, my has Sindhukavi, SINDHUKAVI, Sindhukavi _IRS. So if you have any questions, you can definitely send me in my social media account. Facebook pages maybe you can send, and Instagram maybe you can send, so that I can, whatever little help or whatever I know, I can share it with you. Yeah, just a minute. Ma'am, I will be disqualified in interview because they will ask about gap. No, it's not like that. They won't disqualify you in interview and all. There are people who have cleared at a very later age also. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I don't know कौन दे रहा है ऐसा गलत information मुझे. I don't think that if you have a break after your graduation, you will be you will be थ्रोन आउट एंड ऑल. तो मेरा ग्रेजुएशन 2013 में हो गया, फिर मैंने 2019 में एग्ज़ाम क्लियर किया. तो मैंने 6 साल की गैप है मेरा. सो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. सो ऐसा चीज़ों में मत बिलीव कीजिए. I'm little about geography mains. I think I'll be a very wrong person to say that, because my first optional was geography and then I changed to sociology. But yes, if you want me to say, I would say keep your basics strong, because without basics you won't be able to understand anything. Instead of reading a lot, work on your NCRT. I think that is the foundation for your geography, right? Work on your NCRT and keep writing a lot. Geography, there are a lot of theories you need to understand, so you need to keep your basics strong. I think I'll not be in much position to guide on geography. Sorry about that. Not optional. Geography for G is na. As I said, it is this thing only. NCRT. I completely relied on NCRT for climatology, for oceanography, for geomorphology, then for maps, then for Indian geography. Everything was NCRT. So make your own notes out of NCRT if possible. And whatever, for GS1 you are asking, right? Or whatever is in news. For example, one main thing I forgot to say is that I used to follow this magazines, consolidated magazines of answer writing. For Insights had Secure at that time, so I used to take notes from it. For example, recently an earthquake has happened in Turkey, right? So that would be the recent current affairs. So you have to work on earth. For example, this is the recent current affairs. So take earthquake, take what are the causes of earthquakes, how can we, right from prevention to mitigation to what are all the things, cover the A to Z of earthquake. So that you can definitely find in the current affairs magazines and all. So go through current affairs plus NCRT. मैम सोशल ऑप्शन के लिए कैसे पढ़ना है, टेस्ट सीरीज़ कौन सी कोचिंग की लगानी है? टेस्ट सीरीज में नहीं, बट आई कैन नॉट से कमेंट ऑन दैट. बट सोशल ऑप्शनल के लिए अगेन सिलेबस है सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट. मेक योर बेसिक्स वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग. और थिंकर्स पार्ट है ना चैप्टर 4, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. उसका अंडरस्टैंडिंग बहुत प्रॉपरली करना पड़ेगा. That's the most important thing. So focus on thinkers, and everything that you see around you has sociology. Every single little thing has sociology around it. So try to see how you can use it. How will I tell you? For example, take anything, that everything around you has sociological impact on it. For example, if you see like any religious festivals and all, or not religious, darshan and all, if it's open after so many years, the tickets will get sold very fast, right? So it is still, Karl Marx, what did he say? Religion is opium of the masses. And still these are examples that people find solace in religions, right? So link your thinkers with your current affairs. Every single thing that you see in newspaper can be linked to sociology. And how do you link it? You have to have a proper understanding of your thinkers. So link thinkers and current affairs. That is the key. Actually, I'm getting a lot of questions, and already it's been 49 minutes or something. So I'll continue for some more time. But I would again say, if you have any questions and if I'm not able to cover here, you can please follow my social media account, Instagram. It is instagram.com/Sindhukavi _IRS, SINDHUKAVI _IRS. So if I'm not able to answer any question here, you can please ping me there. Whatever possible, I can answer you there. So it's instagram.com/Sindhukavi _IRS. And ma'am, offline test series good for prelim 70 to 80 test. Offline is good, online is also. Offline I would suggest, you will have that atmosphere. और जल्दी थोड़ा क्वेश्चन, आपसे कौन सी कोचिंग की टेस्ट सीरीज लगाई थी for prelims and mains? See, I studied from the south. I'm from Tamil Nadu, so here whatever institutes were there I did, and apart from that, magazines and all, I followed Vision, Insights, not but entirely Vision or Insights, but then I used to refer then and there. Ma'am, I'm Hindi medium student, but suddenly changed my language English, so it's possible to crack this exam. See, changing the language, I would say whichever language you're comfortable, you should write in that. What to say? क्या बोलेगा? that medium, whichever you're comfortable. It's not that only with English you can clear the examination. Whichever medium you're comfortable, definitely you can. It is good if you understand English, if you develop this knowledge of English. But it's not that if you're giving the exam tomorrow, you cannot suddenly change it to English and be able to cope up. It also needs some time, right? So give yourself the time and space for it. I would say if you're comfortable in that your own language, go for it. Otherwise, keep some time and keep preparing. There's nothing like only if you do in English you will be able to clear. There are many people who have cleared in regional language. Essay preparation, I already told you. You can see the video in the front. Okay, you can. This video will be available later. You can see it again. I've discussed in the beginning also. So, if you have any specific doubt, message me in my Instagram account. You can search me by my name, Sindhukavi IRS, Sindhukavi SINDHUKVA_IRS. How to solve ancient history questions? That is still a mystery for many people. I also am not aware how to solve ancient history questions. We study something and they ask from somewhere. I think you can only guess. With the current trend, I think only you can guess. You have to study everything, but with the current trend, you can only guess. या जस्ट अ मिनट. मुझे पढ़ाई में बहुत मौत आती है. व्हाट इज दैट? आई एम नॉट एबल टू रीड द एंटायर थिंग इन हिंदी. आती है, प्लीज सजेस्ट मी. बहुत आती है मैम. मिनिमम हाउ मेनी ईयर क्वेश्चन वी कैन सॉल्व टू क्लैरिफाई द CSAT? I would say 55 to 60 you should solve, because if it goes negative, this is a very good question. So because even if something goes wrong, even with negative marking, you can commit, if you are decent in it, if you're decent in CSAT, go for 55, maximum 60 you can go. If you're not very sure, restrict it to 52, something like that, because if you get too many negatives also, it's not good. Ma'am, should I begin my UPSC preparation? I'm a working professional. Yes, you can begin any day. There's nothing like you start today or tomorrow. It all depends on whether you want to get into UPSC or what is the motive of your preparation. If you still feel that you can make a change in people's lives by writing UPSC, or you will feel good about writing UPSC and getting into service, you should do it. There are many people who work and kind of clear UPSC, so there's nothing like that. Or it's good to see many people asking questions, and I thought I never guessed that it would be so interactive. Ma'am, how should I begin my UPSC preparation? So if you are okay, I think I'll take a few more questions in the end. कैसे स्टार्ट करना है आप? I would suggest you to go for coaching. If you have the resource, money, financially, I would suggest you to join in any good coaching. I wouldn't suggest any coaching center by myself, but do a lot of research, check the market, what is good, take a coaching. ज़्यादा aspirants अपनी खुद से पढ़ रहा है, फिर if you have the time and effort and money, I think your energy would be saved. So I would say that. Ma'am, you are ignoring my questions. No, I'm not ignoring. You can ask again. I think I would have missed out. सनत कुमार. हाँ, मैंने बताया ना आपको, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है तो गैप होना है, डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. तो मेरी प्रिपरेशन में भी गैप है. मैंने 2013 में क्लियर किया और सर्विस 2019 से मुझे मिल गई. तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. तो डोंट बिलीव इन ऑल दैट. सनत कुमार. Ma'am, how can we develop option elimination technique for prelims? That is nothing. You can only keep solving. Only by solving the question paper, you can kind of get it. And once you solve the question, it's not that you can go away with it. वापस आके तो हर question को आप देखना पड़ेगा. For example, if you committed a mistake in a question, तो get it kind of what to say. See why it is wrong. If it is right, also see why it is right, because you might have thought a wrong logic and you would have still put the correct option. So ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. So keep checking it. How to motivate to study, ma'am? That depends on you. तो motivation तो आपको कुछ टॉपर्स पसंद है, उसका वीडियोस देखिए. Personally I wouldn't do that. तो मोटिवेशन अंदर से आता है ना, तो आपको बाहर से आता है, तो कुछ मोटिवेशनल वीडियोस देखिए. और आप एक थिंग यू रिमेंबर इट, दैट आप ये एग्ज़ाम क्लियर कर सकता है तो आप ज़्यादा ज़्यादा लोग का ज़िंदगी में यू कैन ब्रिंग चेंज. दैट इज़ द ओनली मोटिवेशन. Sanat Kumar. I'm unable to solve NCRT polity back of the page questions. That comes with practice only, Sanat Kumar. You have to. It's even if you ask me now, I may commit some mistake in NCRT questions. It is not like everybody will be able to solve. There are people who might not